Welcome to OState Daily. Casey Porter here. So glad you decided to tune in. Joined by Scott Tyner, former Cowboy great and NFL kicker. And Scott, hey, we're about the same age. I'm probably going to date myself here, but hey, I know we lost 49-17. The game was better. The Cowboys did lose, and that's not good. But I'm not going to apologize. I had a great weekend in Stillwater. I had a hell of a good time.
Oh, there's no question. We did too. We had the whole family together. All five of us came up, and man, it's always a great time, always. But just for whatever reason, it just felt a little special this time. I don't really know where to put my finger on that, but just had a great time being out on game day and being on the scene. Got to go eat cheese fries and have the whole deal. George's was electric pregame, which usually I'm pretty good, activities coordinator at George's before a game, But, man, we had a great time. I thought the stadium was electric. I saw loyal and true, the whole night. Literally felt like the crowd was trying to will those guys to make a play, all night. And we're into the game. And, we got beat 49-17, but that game didn't feel like 49-17 until the end of the third quarter when the whole place is electric and the defense is dancing on the field and Garth Brooks is singing and we're all hugging and we're a 3rd and 16 play away from maybe a stop and to get back in it. And then the next thing you know, we're all headed back to the bars disappointed,
We've done that before.
Oh, we've done that before. It wasn't the first time for sure.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. Hey, none of us have really been in a situation quite as weird as the situation that Coach Meacham's in. But first of all, just being the figurehead for the first time, he has done a fantastic job just relaying information, staying calm, and just keeping a level head, being fair to the kids, but also being fair to the program, letting his coaches coach, and being that guy. And I thought it was really cool of him to just get rid of his ego and allow Coach Johns to coach this week because Coach Johns is better in the run game, and the Cowboys, to have any success, have to dominate the run game to keep the ball. Right. So I think he did that for the betterment of the program. He needs to be commended. Oh,
there's no question, man. Coach Meach has been put in the most impossible situation. The things you mentioned, plus week to week weighing who you're going to have in uniform, and then trying to put a product on the field. Man, I'm proud for him. I think for him and the staff, this is almost their resume, right? Every week that they play, they're trying to put good tape out there. Unfortunately, it's likely we don't keep many, if any, of these guys. With the change, we'll see what happens with the new head coach. But these guys have stuck with it. They're doing their job. They're professional. Coach Meach has had a little charisma about himself. He's made this team a team you don't mind pulling for, in the midst of chaos. So it's been fun. I'm with you on Coach Johns. I read that going into the game and trying to watch it, like I always say, with a coach's eye. Man, we had a plan. We're trying. We were trying to establish some things. We were kind of masking our run game to look the same and create some play action, which is stuff that I've always kind of cheered for and kind of pulled for in the offense. And man, it was worth the season ticket purchase, to be in the stadium and watch that effort. Man, we don't want to get into moral victories. There's no such thing. We all know. I got into a little Twitter. It was actually funny. Coach Meach had mentioned yesterday in his presser, we did things well in all parts of the game except winning. And then a guy kind of tried to smart off and say, well, the most important part, and I kind of went back at him. I said, well, listen, Coach, the house is on fire, and Coach Meacham has the job of trying to figure out something good to say about the ashes.
Yes.
What
good does it do you just to sit around and complain about everything that's bad? I mean, what good does that do you?
And let's try to find some good in it. Man, it was you said it at the top, Casey. It was a great weekend. Got to go watch Cowboy basketball practice in Gallagher. That was great to see, just to be a part of that. Man, just to see the orange in the stadium, see people still coming out and supporting. And, hey, tip of the hat to the students. Now, I know most of them were, first of all, probably having too much fun during the day, if you know what I mean.
And then after the game, too, yeah.
And then after the game. And they were probably waiting for the announcement of the award winners. That's why they didn't leave. But man, they were engaged all night long, and it was a great atmosphere. It was a great time for Oklahoma State people. Maybe not the diehard football fan, but for an Oklahoma State person, that was a great day and a great night.
Well, I'm both. I'm a diehard. The football part of it is what I go to see. Hey, homecoming, I love the pageantry. I love all of it. But, I'm there to see the game. I'm there to see Oklahoma State win a game. So I am that diehard football guy too. But I'm also the OSU guy both, and I was happy with both. I mean, hey, it is what it is. I've been in the coaching ranks my entire adult life. You have too. There are just times to where you're up against it, and really all you can do is can control what you can control. And I really feel like, hey, these guys are continuing to coach. They're continuing to get buy-in from a lot of these guys. And as a guy who both is a diehard, a big OSU fan, a football fan, and has also been in the coaching industry, I just come at it like I feel like everybody in this whole situation is doing everything that they can as far as the parts of it that they can control.
Trying to make the best of a bad situation, and if anything this year has proven, it's that none of us know a damn thing what we're talking about.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
We go through last year where nobody gets fired.
Yeah.
It seemed like nobody would pull. And then this year, I had to go into hiding from your show. Now, the truth is I've been busy at work, but I had to go into hiding because I'm the guy that's ranting that it'd be stupid to make a move early in the year. Nobody in their right mind would do that early in a season like this. Matter of fact, the last time I was on, that's what I said. And now look around, everybody's doing that.
I think we set that bar.
We set the bar. Yeah, we were way wrong. And, we don't know. And there's things happening in the business and that are going on out there. I've got opinions. It's donor-driven. It's 1,000% donor-driven.
It is.
There's never been a time where presidents and ADs have had less power in decision-making in football, maybe other sports. But man, it's where we are. And, I write a little college football blog with a friend of mine on Facebook on the weekends. And we call these teams that don't have a head coach the zombie Cowboys. Now the zombie Gators. They're zombified. They're kind of just out there wandering. They're undead, so to speak. From a metaphorical standpoint. But no, man. I think given the circumstances, the fear would have been the team quits on you. And sure, there's been some guys go to the portal. I saw a couple tape videos of kids not giving the best effort on the field, but that group of kids hasn't quit. I don't feel like they've quit. The coaches haven't mailed it in. I think some of that's to be expected in the age that we're living in, but now if these guys can keep playing hard and putting a product out there that is in good faith to wear the orange and the white and the black, then so be it.
I think we have a good enough product, a presentable enough product to where whenever there is a rogue individual or two that's not giving the proper effort, you can tell because everybody else on the field is, and that person sticks out like a sore thumb. We knew who it was last year. It's pretty obvious who it was this week, and they stuck out. I'll just say that.
Yeah, no question. There's no question. It shows, and again, we talked about Coach Meach, and the coaches are putting out their resume. Well, the players are putting theirs out too.
Yes.
The portal in the day and age we're in, it's frustrating. I even have commented, you and I've talked about it on here. It's not a sport that's fun to follow anymore. We follow the OSU brand on the helmet, right? Or the Pistol Pete or whatever we're wearing that week, or the Script Cowboy or Script Post. But the product itself is not fun to follow because you just don't know what you're following anymore. I'm sitting here, I'm looking at Texas A&M, and I don't know, are they good? I don't know if they're good. Texas Tech here in the Big 12, which I'm sure we'll get into. Best roster money can buy. We used to joke about that when we talked about OU or Texas. Now it's the game.
Yeah, right.
And you have to tip your hat to Texas Tech because they have bought a quality roster, and it's the way to go now, and it's the way to play it. And so a little bit frustrating for the gray beard, no hair, stay off my lawn fan that remembers when we played for the logo, when we played for the university, and that it mattered. Well, you and I just opened the show with it. I drive onto campus, and it matters to me to be in Stillwater on that campus on that day. I don't know that we have enough kids that get that experience or that are going to end up with that connection when all is said and done.
Parker Robertson's one. Rodney Fields so far has been one. There are, hey, Quinn Stewart, I posted about him. What's kind of cool about it is being able to pick out the guys that, and we're older, so the get off the lawn part of it, right. You got to experience it, I got to experience that kind of thing. We know what's in store for Quinn Stewart and Parker Robertson 20 years from now, right? I mean,
for sure. I've told you this. Parker's father and I grew up together 6 miles apart, and we're friends. I mean, we see each other every couple of weeks, and man, I'm happy for Parker. He has stayed with it, a walk-on who got scholarship, who's now a captain, and he will be beloved from this era.
I will give him a standing ovation every time he's introduced at whatever crowd.
He has stayed with it in the roughest of eras. Just like that group of guys that was really right before me, the 0-10 and 1. The Woolridge and Gilden and Harmon. Scott Harmon's one of the more beloved guys in Cowboy lore because he stayed through that era. And made it through there, and a few other guys that I played with as well. I was a JUCO guy, so I came in late, but I loved it. I fell in love with the place. So, but man, I think for Parker and those guys that you mentioned, they have an opportunity to have something special that they were a part of. It's not fun now, but they'll look back and say, "I was there when this happened." Yeah, I was a part of the Texas Bowl, and then it all. I was part of Mike Gundy's last team. Because one day there'll be a gray-haired Mike Gundy standing down there being honored, at some point. So, I agree with you 100% on that.
So I don't think you probably want to comment on Coach Gundy himself, but just as a fan, kind of getting it, at the beginning, you're like, okay, well, maybe we change a scheme here or there. We win 3 or 4 games. We kind of rally the troops. And now as you go on, you start to realize, well, this roster just really was depleted. I mean, there's just not a whole lot of talent to go around right now. Yeah. So kind of as I've gone throughout the weeks, I've kind of realized just, really how much we actually needed to move on from Coach Gundy. I know you probably don't want to comment on that. So I've kind of gone from, well, I don't know, this and that to, hey, man, this is what it is. He wasn't doing his job. Oklahoma State had to move on. We love the guy. And as it's gone on, I've kind of grown a little bit of more frustration towards that situation. Would I be warranted there, or do you not even want to comment on it?
No, I don't think you're unwarranted there at all. And I don't mind talking about it. I look at Mike like I do myself, right? Even in my job, there's so much new legislation for me in the school business. There's so many new things that have been passed down from the government on how we can do our job. When I got in this business, we gave kids licks with a paddle.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? And so things change and morph over time, and it's hard for me to adjust because there's a formula that was my route to success. And I think for Mike, it's true. Frustrated, sure. I feel sorry for him. I mean, I'll be honest. This guy came to a place that for 100 years couldn't win, had a formula that all of a sudden began to win, and the rules changed where his formula went from arguably one of the 10 best programs in the nation to obsolete overnight. Mm-hmm. And when it went obsolete, it wasn't like he could change overnight because it turned into a resource war, suddenly, where he didn't rely on resources before. He relied on a formula of player development. And so, 20 years of winning, and then the next day, player development no longer matters. So I feel a little bit sorry for the situation. Now, was he a little stubborn? Yeah. I'm 53. He's 57. I'm turning into my dad every day, so I have a little empathy. Now I do think part of the problem is you do have to change. Arguably, let's just give a pretty good comparison. Nick Saban had enough self-realization to realize this isn't for me. I'm out of here.
I'm not a butt kisser to the donors.
I'm not going to do it.
And that's the game.
And that's it. And Mike, to his detriment and maybe even his credit, depending on how you view it, well, I ain't kissing y'all's ass because I built this thing, blah, 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 blah. Well, here's what's going to happen when you do that,
That can't work, Mike. You may be right, but that can't work in this climate. Yeah.
And in his defense, maybe not Oklahoma State football's defense, in his defense, he's like, okay, so be it. so be it. Just I'll push it. I'm gonna die on this shield, so to speak.
Yeah.
And he did. Metaphorically. He did. And,
Yeah.
You're right. I mean, it's very frustrating. The roster depletion is happening in Clemson. It's not maybe to the extreme, but it's happening there. And Dabo has resisted this as well. And there's a lot of guys out there who have resisted this change. And what's funny to me, not funny, but something of note, how many of these programs didn't resist the change and couldn't keep up?
Yeah.
Michigan.
Yeah.
Michigan State. You start naming some of these places.
Wisconsin,
100, Nebraska, obviously. Yeah. You can go through this list of programs. Mississippi State, of course, with Coach Leach passing away, that's probably what set them back more than anything. Florida, they just can't figure it out. And of course they're probably going to hire Lane Kiffin now, and here we go. I think the game changed, and these guys that had a set formula and a way of doing things got caught up in the wash, and they either had to change on a dime or quit. I'm not calling Nick Saban a quitter. I actually think he was pretty smart. Or they had to do what a Mike Gundy or even a Dabo Swinney did and try to spawn upstream against the flow of the game.
Yeah.
So it's crazy, man. It's become a very hard. I don't get as excited for Saturdays as I did a couple of years ago. Because I'm watching and it's so network driven.
I don't even watch football outside of OSU. Then maybe a little bit of a couple of Big 12 games. I don't even watch OU anymore.
Yeah, now I've got like 13 fantasy league teams on Sunday, but but I'm watching the players. But yeah. You're right. I turn on ESPN on the last week, and they asked about Kurt Signetti and Feinbaum, or somebody. I guess it was Feinbaum says I don't even think he's one of the top 10 coaches in the nation. Well, you know why? Because he's in the Big 10 and they're a Fox. They're on Fox. Yeah. And I'm starting to see this. It's just there's just not a lot of purity. Yeah. I'm going to say something on the air that I'm going to regret. They've turned the game into a prostitution ring.
Yeah, right.
The universities are pimped out for the TV dollar and so forth, and it just funnels down right to the players, and they prostitute themselves out for the biggest check up to a point. And it's just hard. Penn State, my gosh, are you kidding me? That coach, Franklin, sorry, I couldn't think of his name. He lost his locker room in a week.
Yeah, he did.
And what did he do?
Yeah.
We're not talking about some of the near scandals that Mike ran into with OAN and all this stuff, with Chuba. Mike ran aground to some stuff that he survived over
he did.
The DWI stuff. James Franklin didn't do anything.
Yeah.
He just may have come across a little bit sterile and stiff, and they started losing, and it's over.
Yeah.
Overnight. And, it's just not I can't decide if being a head college football coach is the worst job in the country or the best. Because one thing that you can be rest assured of is you're going to get paid off when you get fired.
Yeah. You're hired to get fired.
Yeah, you're hired to get paid not to work, and man, don't we all want that one?
Absolutely. So you spent your entire childhood, now your entire adulthood, basically in the heart of recruiting country for Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State has to recruit that East Texas, North Texas, that whole area to really be successful. Now you can get some players out of Oklahoma, but you got to supplement them with that area. Oklahoma State always has. So I asked Scott Tyner, you've been in the coaching industry. You know all the coaches in that area. You know all the coaches that Oklahoma State needs to have a relationship with to continue to build a program. Is it even possible for Oklahoma State to build this thing back and get in the final 64 that they're probably going to go to here in about 5 years? Or are we just screwed?
I think look no further than Texas Tech.
Okay. But how do we get their money?
To your question, it's pretty simple. Do we have a CEO out there that loves the university enough to give us $50 million? Whatever. I don't know. I couldn't even tell you what the number is, right? But whatever it is. And sadly, that's all that matters, right now. Cody Campbell, tip the hat. He's doing that for Texas Tech while at the same time trying to start a campaign to maybe save the sport, right?
Yeah.
And I'm no Tech fan, of course. Everybody knows that. But that's the whole bottom line. Now, Chad, he said in his presser when Mike got fired that it's not the 80s OSU. So I guess we're led to believe that there's money out there that is ready to come in.
They paid off. They're going to have to pay off this entire. I mean, you've talked about it's just taking a hell of a lot of money to get rid of this staff.
So 100%. And I couldn't see it. When we talked last time, that was my argument. How are you going to pay off and pay in and then go get a roster? Well, according to the way that presser sounded, and somebody said, I get asked all the time, who's going to be the new coach? Whoever the donors want to give their money to. Mm-hmm. And it's sad for guys like me and you, right? I mean, I'm a graduate, alum, season ticket purchaser, paying 2 tuitions, out-of-state tuitions up there. So am I a donor?
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm a donor, but I ain't that kind of donor.
Yeah.
So
you're not one that has influence.
Yeah.
When I email, I don't get one back.
Right. I'm the customer that gets cut out, right?
Yeah,
I'm cut out of the deal a little bit, and I have to live with the hiked up season ticket prices to pay for some of this. I think it's possible to dig out of it. I just think if you bend my arm behind my back, Zach Robinson's the guy that the real money guys want to rally around. And I don't care if Zach can coach or not. If he can get the money, we have a chance to build a roster, And now you've got a chance. And I think you look across the Big 12, you kind of see it everywhere. I mean, look at this year's Big 12. Everybody that has a veteran quarterback has a chance to win. And then Brigham Young might be the most fraudulent thing I've ever seen. I just can't prove they're frauds because they keep winning.
They have experience everywhere else, though. I mean, L.J. Martin, all the Chase Roberts, all the receivers are off. I mean, they're experienced everywhere except for quarterback.
Right, and they've always recycled them, right? They've always they've never been irrelevant, really ever. There's a few years in there before Sataki got on board over there, but I think that's his name, right? Kalani Sataki, yeah. Man, I'm going to hope for the best, right? That we can put together a team that will win. I think Mike got caught up and we just got to go get players. And, now you're not I don't know that we ever got into roster building.
Yeah, right.
I think you touched on it. We were so roster depleted. Yeah. We were just trying to acquire people.
Yes.
And
whether they were a fit, no matter. I mean,
exactly.
What defense they came from,
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, looking for any light in this season, well, the offensive line that was put together is better than the fifth-year senior offensive line that graduated.
Yeah.
Give
Coach Bassett and Coach Mitchell, give them a ton of credit.
Yeah, we're looking for something that's better. That's better. The defensive line is better. It's better. It just is. We're still getting.
We can stop there about the defense being better.
Yeah, we'll just leave it there. But the defensive line is better.
Okay.
The defensive front is better. Not talking about.
I'm going to take your word for it.
Yeah, not as a whole, but I don't know, man. It's scary, right? I mean,
it is. I'm scared to death as an OSU fan. We're going to get left in the wilderness here in 4 or 5 years when they redo the media deals. They go to about 60 to 64 teams, and OSU's left out. I'm scared to death of that.
Well, I think that's a real possibility. I mean, I think it could even go to 48, right? It could go. I mean, you could see that thing cut off anywhere. We're going to have to exist wherever we are, Mm-hmm. And I mean, by that time, I'll be 60. So I mean, you know what I mean? I'll root for whatever we've got. Right. But yeah, I mean, I don't know what to tell. I mean, I used to think I was pretty smart, right? I'd come on your show and I'd see a couple comments. Oh yeah, I love his input. Well, after my last show, I watched it back and I saw the comments on there talking about, oh, he's sharp. And I went back and listened. I was wrong about everything.
As is everybody right now.
I missed everything. I got nothing right. So I ain't that smart. I just love watching the sport evolve a little bit, and I don't love what I'm seeing it evolve into.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, I have total trust in Chad. First of all, Chad, he understands Oklahoma State just like we do. I mean, he understands it like the back of his hand. So he knows what will have success here in terms of a coach. He knows what to sell about Oklahoma State. And then also he comes from a sporting background. His dad was a collegiate basketball coach forever. I mean, he's been around the sport. And so I think we have the perfect type of guy to find the perfect fit for Oklahoma State to move forward. So I have total trust in Chad.
Well, I'll go on a little bit about Chad. Chad and I were friends back in college, back in the day.
Great dude.
And we've known each other, and every time he sees me, he speaks. He knows exactly who he's talking to.
Yeah.
We'll spend 10 or 15 minutes of his time talking. He knows my kids, all that kind of good stuff. I was at the practice the other day. I ran into him. I walked right up to him and told him I'd been praying for him. I knew he'd been having some health issues, and I said, I'm praying for you on all fronts, brother. I know you got it going. And I looked at him, he said, oh, thank you. And I looked at him and said, well, hey, I was just going to ask you. You need me to send you my resume. Like that. And he kind of looked over out of the side of his eye, and he looked at me, he goes, nah. He goes, it's going to be okay. You're going to like it. That's all he said.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
He said, you're going to like it. So,
yeah.
So let's just look at what Chad's done. I know there's a lot of people that think it's football and only football. And, in a lot of respects, if you're talking about revenue and profile and all that, there's some truth to that. But, what moves has he made? We don't even really talk about tennis and cross country much, Yeah. Well, there's J.C. Hoyt. She's OSU legendary.
Yeah, rock star.
Yeah, rock star. David Taylor is going to be bigger than a rock star probably this year. And now Steve Lutz.
Yeah.
That's been his three big moves that he's made since he's been there. I'm telling you, I watched Lutz's team today. I don't know what we're going to be because I don't know what everybody else is. We're not broken.
Yeah.
They're doing shooting drills, and that thing's never touching the rim.
Yeah.
For the last 5 years, what have we said? They can't shoot. This team can shoot. I think with Lutz and Hoyt and Taylor, and if you look at that track record, I'd be willing to bet if it's not – well, here's what I'll tell you. If it's Zach Robinson, it will tell you that the donors run the whole show for football.
Yeah, absolutely.
If it's not, I'd be willing to bet that Chad goes and finds somebody that we're not thinking about.
Yeah, Zach Robinson should not be the next coach at Oklahoma State, just based on qualifications, in my opinion, and based on what all needs to happen. I hope the Oklahoma State donors understand that it's too big of a hire just to go out and say, hey, he played for OSU. We like Zach Robinson. He's pretty. He's got the eyes that all the girls like and all this kind of stuff, and he set records. Get past that. Go find the guy that actually – is the most qualified to do what a head coach has to do at a major university.
Well, I almost want to qualify your remarks. I think he might actually be the absolute perfect coach that we do.
There you go.
Why? Because it don't matter if he can coach.
That's correct. Yeah.
And that's not a slight. I don't know if he can or can't. He's an NFL offensive coordinator, so clearly he's doing something right. Of course, if you watch the blog.
But what recruiting in regard? What coaches does he know in East Texas right now?
None, not a one.
Right, that's my point.
At this point,
how does he hit the ground running? Even if he does have money, how does he hit the ground running?
Well, that's what I was about to say. At this point, if I'll just throw a number out there, and I'm just going to take Chad at his word from the press conference when he said this is not your 80s OSU. Okay, if there's $35 million worth of money sitting there waiting to come flying in, he don't have to recruit very well. He just has to show up with cash. He doesn't have to have connections. It's like, because I don't even think now, when I got recruited.
But that's not the way Oklahoma State's going to build, because if we have $35 million, then that means whoever else that we want to beat is going to have $45 million.
Isn't it funny that we're not talking about track and cross country renovation suddenly?
Right.
Those things suddenly don't matter. And we do have some facilities needs. The basketball needs a facility. Yeah. Gallagher's great, but they don't have a practice facility, for the Cowgirls and the Cowboys for themselves. They're sharing gyms, and they have to rotate when they get the different gyms every day. Yeah. But just an aside, you're right. But at some point, if we don't have the money, then we're going to be exactly what you just said. We're going to be a tier 2 program.
Yeah. And as far as the Zach Robinson deal too. Okay, so here's what you mentioned it earlier. Coaches get hired to get fired, okay? So there is no coach on earth that's going to say, no, hell no, I'm not going to Oklahoma State. Screw that, because Zach Robinson is 6 bad games away from getting fired, okay? Yeah. And so if he gets fired, he needs to have Oklahoma State. He can't burn a bridge at Oklahoma State and just say, oh, hell no, I'm not going. So that the press conference where he said, I'm not going to address that, that wasn't saying that he has any interest in Oklahoma State. That wasn't saying anything other than, hey, I'm a coach. I'm in the coaching industry. I don't know what my life is going to be like 6 months from now. I hope I'm going to be in the same spot. But in case I'm not, I need to have every bridge and every avenue open to myself.
That's it. I mean, in OSU, hate to sound like this, but we're going to be his fallback.
We are his fallback, 100%.
Yeah, we're his fallback. And
if he ends up here, then whatever he's doing now is a plan to not work out.
Absolutely. 100%. And to his credit, pretty smart by him,
Yes.
And I don't know if he's, and I was being a little facetious when I said he's absolutely the guy, but
Yeah, right.
I just can't tell you what it means now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Who is a good coach? I mean, Joey McGuire wasn't any good till he got this roster.
I know who I'd hire.
Who do you like?
I would hire Colin Klein, and I would go make a run at Jim Knowles, which I think is very, very, very possible as a defensive coordinator. I think he would be welcome to. I think he would be willing to come back. I think Oklahoma State would be willing to pay him. I would go get Colin Klein, and here's why, Scott. I think 2021 for Oklahoma State. Think of the good moments from Saturday. Colin Klein, would he have the air raid, hey, we're scoring every 2 seconds? Probably not. But what he would do is he would bring a certain toughness, and he would bring a certain element of complementary offense that complements the defense that Jim Knowles would want to play. And I think those two combined would give you the biggest winning formula. And I'll say this, in terms of money coming from donors, yeah, you might get one shot to get the first wave of money for a Zach Robinson, but if you don't win, you're not going to get the only thing that's going to get the consistent dollars in from donors is winning every year. So you got to find the guy you think's going to win.
I 150% agree with you, except for one caveat. Those donors want to give their money to who they want to give it to, and they don't want to give it to an Aggie coach who was from Kansas State.
You don't think?
I don't know. I really don't. But I like Colin. I think he's doing a great job down there at A&M. And, of course, I mean, Jim Knowles, for the job he did in 21, he can come back anytime he wants, I just don't know, man. It's just so messed up. I mean, GJ, yeah, that's too obvious, with the Tulsa connection and all that. And Golish down in South Florida, sure, makes all the sense in the world. But and your suggestion would be a dream staff. I mean, there's no doubt. I just think the decision making is now so out of the hands of the football people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, because, okay, Chad goes and finds his David Taylor, right? And when he took David Taylor to the donors, the people he had to get permission from, they were probably like, yeah, you bet, whatever.
Hell yeah.
Because there might have only been one or two. Now he goes and brings Colin Klein, and the football donor is going to be a little bit more prickly because you're talking about probably bigger dollar amounts. And who knows? I'm a little bit more skeptical. I almost think that this thing was set up a year ago behind Chad's back when all the stink happened over the contract,
by the board and all that.
All that. The donors basically made it clear to whoever, here's what's going to happen. And I think this thing has been.
I think that's a personal vendetta against Coach Gundy.
100%, and it played itself out. Yeah. And of course, Tulsa.
And that's on Coach Gundy. I mean, he can be an ass. That is completely on him.
100%. There's
whatever a donor says that, hey, Coach Gundy did this and this is why he pissed me off. Mm-hmm. I'm in their corner. I have no doubt that he did that. Well, and they have every reason to be pissed.
It's their money, and for 20 years he didn't need their money.
Yeah, and he just needed to build. He just needed to get a 3-star from Kansas and develop them. Yeah.
Develop them, and then suddenly he needed their money, and he'd alienated them.
Yeah.
And man, I love what we were. Right. I'm not. It's kind of like Texas Rangers, right? I'm a big Rangers fan, and we won the World Series in '23, and that team was kind of newly put together, and Bochy was in there, and I followed it. Right. I was behind them. I root for the T on the hat. I didn't love that team. I'm still the 2011 guy who got his heart broke.
Josh Hamilton.
Yeah, I'm still. And so when we won the World Series, I'm like, oh yeah, we won the World, but not that team. That wasn't my Rangers.
Yeah.
So I'll rather love the 21 Cowboys and the 11 Cowboys and so forth through those years than what we become. I'm sure, but yeah, it's so unpredictable and. Yeah. I think Chad has been given the power to do his job and go conduct a search. I'm pretty sure he was given parameters. I'm pretty sure he knows what the dollar figures are saying on who's willing to donate and all that kind of good stuff. And man, just see what happens. I mean,
so from
the fact that we haven't heard anything sure does sound a lot like Zach waiting on a timeline for Zach.
Think so?
Feels that way. It feels that way. And again, I'm gonna say that with this caveat. I have been wrong about everything this year. I have not gotten one thing right.
So if you're Zach, do you come to Oklahoma State right now? Do you give up the possibility of being an NFL? I mean, plan A is for him to continue to excel with in his OC job in the NFL, which will make him a head coach in the NFL. You don't have to deal with donors, all this crap we're talking about. That got coach good. You don't have to deal with any of this.
I wouldn't do it. I mean, I wouldn't leave.
Hell no. That's not even close.
But 3 more weeks of going playing outdoors on grass and his offense, and he might not have a choice.
Yeah.
Every time they play in a dome, he looks sharp. Every time they go play on the road, they don't look very good,
Yeah.
And the was a Falcon, too, once upon a time. And one thing I can tell you about the Falcons is they cannot be trusted in any way.
Let me throw this out at you, though. I mean, honestly, Scott, I don't know how Oklahoma State's offense could have looked any better than it did Saturday night. The way they formationed it, the way they motioned it, the way they ran counter, they ran zone away, they run the basket. I mean, why not just put an eye on Coach Johns right now and go, hey, this is the offense we actually need right here, right?
There's a small piece of me that roots for Zach to get the job for this reason. He may have enough faith in his ability as the OC, in Meacham as the quarterback coach, which would probably keep Haas Haney here, by the way, if Meach stayed, and now Johns, that he might be able to start building his offensive staff with his offense around a couple of those guys and let that kind of start playing out so he could do the head coach thing. I agree with you on the offense. I thought that was a lot of creativity. To come
creativity in just the base plays. Creativity doesn't have to manifest itself in trick plays.
Well, what I was going to say,
how do you create deception in your zone play? That's creativity.
To not be able to get a receiver open more than 10 yards downfield or throw it more than 10 yards downfield. And to keep marching the ball. So it was pretty impressive to do what they did, given the material they were working with the other night. And trying to get people loose on the perimeter and all that kind of. And of course, Sam, give credit to Sam. He's not a traditional pocket passer. He made a few plays with his legs and kind of kept them off balance, and that helps. But man, I'm with you. At this point, I'm just so lost. Like I tell people all the time, I know what we are. They want to troll me. All the trolls. I'm like, I've been, that's good. Get your shots in, because I know for the last 20 years I've been killing all you Tech fans, and then 5 times in a row Longhorn, I've been killing you because we beat you in Austin 5. And you Aggie fans, we got you in a bowl game.
You're not afraid to tell them OSU beat them?
Yeah, I'm not afraid to let them know that I've got ownership papers on most of you guys for the last 20 years.
That's awesome.
But no, get your shots in. I know what we are. We're overcoming some things. And by the way, both our basketball teams are good, and we're probably going to win a wrestling natty and maybe a golf natty.
Nice. Nice. And hopefully baseball will be really good this year.
Hopefully baseball and softball get back going and get on that level.
Josh needs to win a regional. He needs to get over that hump. If nothing, just to get OSU fans off his ass.
Well, here's what it, no doubt.
Yeah.
I mean, baseball's so streaky.
It is
a lot of bad luck.
It's the most unpredictable sport.
Yeah, I mean, my gosh, who do we root for in the World Series? Can they both lose? It just won't happen. But I tell all the folks down here about that, and they always tell me that wrestling's not a sport; it doesn't count. And so I want our Oklahoma people to hear that these Texas folks down here don't think wrestling matters. And invite your Texas friends to come up and find out.
Hey, if you were to walk into the cafeteria and talk maybe to some of the other football coaches, what school? You're back home right now, Longview, right?
Edgewood, about an hour east of Dallas. Yeah,
Edgewood. Okay, Edgewood. Okay, so if you're to walk into are you the head football coach there, or are you the AD?
Superintendent? I'm superintendent.
Okay. Yeah. So if you're to walk into your football office after practice and say, "Hey guys, rank the college football jobs right now. Where would they put Oklahoma State?" These are guys in the middle of Texas, right?
Yeah, that's a great question. They would probably. I'm trying to go through scroll the list of jobs that are open.
Arkansas.
They probably put it below Arkansas and Penn State. Honestly,
Auburn's probably going to come open.
Well, you got to remember, there's not a lot of respect for the Big 12 down here unless you're a Texas Tech guy.
Florida.
Yeah, Florida would be up there. I think they'd put it fourth or fifth in that group. I think Arkansas, the traditional SEC, which is funny to me that Texas people think Arkansas is traditional SEC. They're a Southwest Conference school.
Yeah, they are.
But Florida now, that's opened up for sure. I don't think UCLA would even come up in the conversation. And that's a whole nother show for us talking about this realignment. It's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard of.
Yeah.
That UCLA goes and plays a conference game, and that's just stupid.
How about Cal and Stanford going to the East Coast?
Yeah, what was it? North Carolina at Cal for an ACC matchup.
Yeah,
you've got to fly over the San Francisco Bay for an Atlantic Coast Conference.
Yeah,
makes no sense, and it's just dumb. Which goes back to our earlier point about the television networks, but.
So is it a good job? I mean, is it a job that's attractive to the good coaches that we want?
No, I think it is. No,
Okay.
I think it is.
It's more attractive than the basketball coach. It's not near as attractive as the wrestling coach was.
Sure. Wrestling, though, has got a little cult following, right? Even
Well, yeah. I mean, we could get the David Taylor. We could get the best coach available out there because we were the school. We're not that in football.
Yeah,
we're a good school.
Even last year when I went to a wrestling duel in Gallagher, the fan base didn't look like the football fan base. Like it's got its, and not saying it bad or good. I'm just saying they just weren't the same folks, But wrestling's is a little bit more. I don't want to say regional, but it's got a little bit more cult appeal across the country. Really, only one night a year does the nation tune in. They watch Hendrickson beat Gable Stevenson. But I think it's a good job, and the reason I say that, it's got a loyal fan base. It's attractive in the conference it's in, if that makes any sense.
Like you could ascend to the top of it.
Yeah, you could ascend pretty quickly. Arizona State's if by comparison, if you look at Oklahoma State and Arizona State, we're almost the same, right? Except they're sitting in Tempe and Phoenix, a little bit bigger city. So they've got
the pool parties are a little bit different there.
Yeah, but there's no reason to believe that we can't become what we were with who we have to play to do it.
Yeah. Man, how do we fix this defense? I'm on record. You don't have to say X and O's, but I'm on record. The man across the board, the cover two, and then the cover two with the man underneath it. Got to go. We got to go with some type of quarters with run players in front of it. Just the cover two and the man, and then the bailing techniques. I'm tired of watching it.
I tell you, I was an offensive coach when I coached. And I was the offensive coordinator at school in 2011, and we averaged 56 points a game, and we went 14-0, and we won the Texas State Championship in Jerry World.
Yeah.
And I went back the next year to my administrative role as a principal, and an old guy in the stands stopped me the first game the next year and says, "Why ain't you out there coaching this year?" And I grabbed him by the arm. I pointed down the field. I said, "Well, you don't see number 2 out there, do you? And there ain't no number 56." And I said, "I'm smart enough to know I don't have the players to coach them." And I think you want to fix the defense. It's the roster. Nowadays, look at Tech. They can't stop a nosebleed for 3 decades, and they go buy a defensive front. Period. Yes. Period. There's zero other explanation. And coaching, I don't care, even, odd, cover 2, cover 4, man 2, whatever. If you got the Jimmies and the Joes, you don't need to worry about the X's and O's. And I think schematically, I don't know what to tell them right now, because if you leave those safeties high, we're not good enough to stop the run. We get run all over. If you bring them down, we go here we go, because we just can't run with people that can't keep up. So we're kind of damned if we do, damned if we don't. From a personnel standpoint, you do the best you can and you try to create some plays. We hadn't been creating turnovers. Maybe Cincinnati deserves credit. They didn't turn the ball over.
Right. Just don't do anything stupid, and eventually we're going to win this game. That's how you beat OSU.
Veteran quarterback making the right decisions, running back taking care of the ball. I kept thinking the whole night, I've been in Boone Pickens State. I've been sitting in this end zone enough. Here comes the big turnover. It never happened. It never happened.
It kind of felt like we were going to win that game, didn't it?
Boy, it felt good. Hey, when that third quarter ended and that defense started feeling themselves a little bit, and it was 3rd and 16, I'm kind of thinking, well, I've been here. It reminded me of the Texas homecoming a couple of years ago when we had everybody hurt and came back and beat Dijon.
It just kind of felt like that night. Then it wasn't.
Felt like it. And then, 3rd and 16, they set trips to the field, they run old bang 8 like Michael Irvin, and our safety's sitting there waiting to pick it off, and he undercuts it for a 38-yard gain, and the whole, the air just went. The banana guys, it just sucked all the air out of the crowd, at that point. But when they scored on that possession, and I think we turned it over or punted, I don't remember. At that point of the day, I don't remember a lot. I'll just put it that way. Yeah. But I just right back to Georgia's, right where I belong after that.
Yeah. Any chances any of these coaches stay? I mean, I love Cooper Bassett. I think he's a fantastic young coach. I love Coach Johns. I think he's fantastic. I think Coach Meacham needs to retire at Oklahoma State, not necessarily even as a football coach, but in some capacity helping the football program. So is there any chance any of these guys stay? You said it's an audition for them.
I do think there's a chance. And I'll qualify that by saying if they go with Zach, which is kind of a family hire, there might be a chance that maybe at least Meach, right? Now, if they hire Zach, does that mean that my guy, is it Brian Hope? Who's the O-line coach? Was at USC with Lincoln.
Oh, Josh Henson?
Josh Henson, sorry. Brian Hope's my guy. Josh was a little younger than me. Sorry. Brian Hope was with me. But Josh, does he show up back over here with Zach? Do you start bringing guys back? I don't
think Josh Henson comes back unless he is the head coach.
Well, true. That's probably true. But maybe
his OC if he's well paid. I don't know.
I think there's scenarios that if Zach's it, that you see some of that, a little bit of internal loyalty. I'd like to think now, Bassett and those guys are doing a great job with what they've got. But they're going to land, right? They're going to land somewhere. Unfortunately, that's probably the hard part of the business. I'd love to see a gesture by the program for Meach. Whether it be keep him on as a quarterback coach or something. Now, I do think if you've got 3 years of Hoss Haney,
he'd be a perfect GM, wouldn't he? The way that he communicates, he'd be an awesome GM.
He would be. You put him and our guy Kenyatta together, now you've got something cooking, and doing some stuff. But I think rather than go out and finding a quarterback, do what you have to do to keep Hoss Haney here.
And keep Rodney Fields, keep Wendell Gregory.
Yeah, the first step to that is Meach needs to be a part of what's going on.
Keep Grant Seagram, keep 3 or 4 year offensive linemen that are growing and getting better, that kind of thing.
Right. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so for fans that, hey, it was homecoming. Yes, loyal and true, I get it. But I'm an Oklahoma State fan too, so I know the next home game that's not homecoming. If OSU doesn't win a game between now and then, probably even if they do, it's not going to look near like homecoming did. So for OSU fans, what would you tell them? What are the reasons to keep showing up?
Come watch football, right? You only get 6 chances a year, maybe 7, to come to Boone Pickens and see it. I get enamored and immersed in the atmosphere. I love the pregame. I want to be there when the band comes out. I want to see Bullet, all those things. I'm fascinated watching the kids and students.
You want an OSU event. It's an event to you. It's more than just a game.
Yeah, for me, for sure. I'm just infatuated with being in the orange environment, right? And walking by the tailgates and seeing people. And I think that's the biggest thing. I think what I would tell them, of course, I think, Iowa State's the next home game. Is that right?
Or K-State.
K-State, then Iowa State. Yes, K-State. Well, first of all, it's K-State and OSU. That's an annual rivalry. You get to come back to Stillwater. Call your friends and say, let's meet at Joe's. You know what I mean? Let's go have a good time. Let's go rekindle some relationships and friendships. Go watch our team play, understanding what it might turn out to be. And that's fine. I knew at some point that game could turn south the whole night. And as the game went on, I was getting more and more excited. Hey, we're in it. And, it happened late, but it happened, and, you really can't beg people to stay when the product is what it is. I get it. They have every right to not come witness that, but, we're loyal and true. It's in the fight song or in school song. We're loyal and true. We're going to hang with it. I think we have a responsibility up to a point, to what's the word I'm looking for, to emulate that, and do that. So, it doesn't. I don't love the place any less because our football program is falling apart. I've got a kid working for Cowboy basketball. Both my kids love both the Cowgirls and Cowboy basketball teams. I can't wait to see what's going on there. That's the next thing.
Last question I wanted to ask, because this is an interesting deal to be Doug Meacham. You got to be loyal to the team and your fans, and you got to try to win. But also, you got kids that were not lied to, but they were brought into a situation, like a Sam Jackson. He was brought into a situation, he was promised this, he was promised that, and it was by no fault of his, the rug was swept out from underneath him. Yeah. So Sam Jackson's looked good at quarterback, but you got to understand the situation Doug Meacham's in. Yes, he owes the fan base to get the best product out there, but he also owes a guy like Sam Jackson the ability to showcase himself for the NFL guys at receiver. Yeah. So he's in a weird spot of trying to win games while also being loyal to the kids who came to OSU under certain pretenses that aren't still here for them. Because if you want guys in the future, you can't lie to them like that, right?
Sure, and I think for Meach, and I love what Dillingham said from Arizona State, my focus is on the kids who are here.
Yes.
Not the kids who might come here. And I think for Meach, he's got to coach the team he has. He's got to coach. In high school, I never punted. I get to college, I punt. I go to the NFL, I don't punt. I have to do what I got to do for that staff and that team that's there. And I think it's just an unfortunate byproduct, but it's also a little bit of the problem with the game, right? These kids are.
It is. Oh, absolutely.
And like you said, rugs are getting pulled out all over the country. It's happening everywhere. It's a transfer.
In about 2 weeks, Sam Jackson's people's going to be going, they ain't playing quarterback no more. You got two healthy quarterbacks, I ain't doing it.
Right.
I did what I needed to for this team. Now I'm going to do what I need to do for Sam Jackson.
Right.
And I'm saying he should do that. I would tell him to do that.
Yeah, sure. Absolutely. And we have free agency for players and we have free agency for coaches right now with all the jobs. I mean, my take on it is not the jobs that are open. It's the carousel that's going to happen when they start filling, and the other jobs, it's going to be the trickle of the domino effect of those things filling up.
Which we tried to get ahead of, and then
here we are. Here we are. Penn State comes open. It just never stops. But no, I understand that. I get it completely, and there's some empathy there. But at the end of the day, man, it's you got to just move on. I mean, that's what the whole game is doing. That it's moving on. It's moving on, and we're in a cycle now where Texas Tech is cute and Texas A&M's on a nice run.
Yeah.
And all these things are happening. And
that's the nicest thing you can say is cute.
Yeah. And Ohio State's going to win the national title.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's not going to change. And maybe Alabama or Georgia get in there with them. Oh boy, look how much it's changed. Alabama, Georgia, and Ohio State probably have the three best teams in the country. Well, by the way,
do you think, knowing what you know about Coach Gundy, will he help Oklahoma State find a new coach and find the next transition to the next step? Will he be a hindrance, or will he be absolutely no issue whatsoever either way, do you think?
I don't think he's a hindrance. My take, and again, I will.
So you don't think he's out there saying, "Hey, here's how I don't think you're a fit for that. They're crazy. You don't think you would go out there and do that, even though if he believes that?"
Oh, I don't think he's petty out now that it's over. Right? He's got his $15 million. There's a professional courtesy there. You don't do damage for the next guy. Kind of deal. I just don't see that. I think he'll be a non-factor.
Okay.
In it, honestly. Is he bitter? Probably.
You'd be very disappointed if he was a negative factor, would you not?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I would be, and I just don't see that. Those guys, let's be honest. For us here at Oklahoma State, we're unique.
Yeah.
There's us. Okay, as a fan base, start helping me name them. Us and Utah. Who else has had the run we've had?
Yeah.
We've had the same guy who's an alum, for that long. I mean, you go back to Spurrier in Florida.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah. Joe Paterno at Penn State was there for a long time.
Paterno. And so I think we're just in a unique situation that Mike is the exception and not the rule.
So many basketball fans would not accept anybody other than Eddie Sutton. That's what I worry about. Don't be loyal to Mike Gundy. Be loyal to OSU, please. I beg for that.
Well, and the problem with your statement is, the problem since Eddie retired, we ain't won.
No.
We haven't won. And By the way, I wish we'd start playing like Eddie's teams played. You know what I mean?
But through Travis Ford, he didn't win a lot, but he was still better than the history. Other than Iba and Sutton, he was still doing a better job than any other coach at Oklahoma State.
You know,
and that wasn't good enough because the bar.
It's that old story of lost love. You don't know you got the one until you don't have the one.
Absolutely. Yeah. Hey, man, I've taken a lot of your time, man. This is really nice of you to do. I know you had a busy weekend. A busy week. It's always such a joy to get to catch up with you, Scott. You have such an awesome perspective. And it's just interesting. We've been in the coaching industry our whole entire adult lives. We both know Oklahoma State in and out. We know the people that are involved making the decisions personally. And it's amazing how we have no freaking clue what's going on, which also tells you if you have a media outlet telling you that anything about the coaching search, just shut it off because they're just talking out their ass.
I might be the only person with breaking inside news from the AD himself.
Absolutely. With personal information.
Which is a wink, and you're going to like it.
Yeah, absolutely. That's so if you hear, hey, this or that or this or that, it's either purposely leaked, like, hey, we're dictating a narrative that's only one-sided to reach a point here. But if you hear any outlet saying anything about a coaching search, just turn it off.
And I want to correct what I said. He didn't say you're going to like it. He said it's going to be good. That's what he said. It's going to be good. So
Chad has that quiet. He kind of seems soft. Soft-spoken, and he kind of comes off as that soft demeanor. Dude has a mean streak in him, man. And
I think he's got a mean streak. And
he's very confident,
He's very deliberate, and I think he's very, very conscientious about what he's doing. Look no further than Taylor and Lutz and Hoyt.
Yeah. And the way he handled Gundy, that's not easy. Gundy could be an ass to them.
And Gundy's he's the father, right? We just kicked Daddy out of the house.
Damn right you did.
So to speak. And
I'm just Chad Weiberg. You're Mike Gundy. That deal.
Right.
It's like when the players are making more than the manager and the player doesn't run out to first base and the manager goes, hey, man, we need to run to first base. The player goes, screw you. I'm making 3 times more than you.
Yeah. Make me run. Yeah. So 100%, man. But no, I enjoy it. It's a nice distraction from a busy couple days. And, of course, I've got my Edgewood purple and gold on today for a little volleyball senior night tonight. But,
how's football? You about ready for playoffs?
Hey, we got a good team. We're in first place in our district. Trying to wrap up a district championship over the next couple of weeks. We're going to make the playoffs. We're in there, and we've got a chance to make a little run. So we'll see how it goes.
Fantastic. Scott Tyner, thank you so much.
All right, thank you, man. Thanks, Casey.